Alright, so I'm doing my review of 2021. Last year, I did one for 2020, and so I'm just gonna keep it rolling, make this kind of a annual thing. And so yeah, there's a lot of things that happened in 2021. It kind of felt like a blur because I was still kind of recovering, and I'm pretty sure everyone was still kind of recovering from 2020. But yeah, I guess I'll just kind of dive in at where we left off last time. So I'm still in El Cajon at the beginning of the year in January, and at this point, things were getting really good. I was working on probably one of my biggest projects that I'd worked on. It was a music video with a bunch of different missionaries called Don't Let Go. This is probably my highest viewed video. And that one was a lot of fun to work on. And yeah, just being in El Cajon is great. But come the middle of January, we get our transfers, and I find out that I'm going to be leaving. I've been in El Cajon for nearly 6 months now, but I'd be leaving to go up all the way to the tip top of the mission up in Carlsbad, near, yeah, just the very top of that area, in Sanitas area. And it was kind of hard for me because I was going to be leaving an area that I had been there for 6 months, and I'm not the biggest fan of change, and so kind of this happening was kind of rough on me. But I was going to be follow-up training this missionary, Elder Joyce. He's a great guy, awesome, he's a stud. And so yeah, I was going to be following up training him for his second transfer, and we had a good time. It is so different up in Carlsbad. So remember how, so I was leaving University City right next to the temple to go to El Cajon, which was the crab capital of the world, and now I'm going all the way to Carlsbad, and that area is super duper nice, $1 million houses all around, bunch like Teslas all over the place. Me and one of my companions, we'd count just how many Teslas we'd see in a day, and we'd just keep count, and it was just this whole game. But that whole area was just so nice, and it was the worst because it made the work harder for us, because a lot of times people that are successful aren't really looking for things to help them out because they feel like they're already, you know, in a place where they're doing well for themselves, so they aren't really seeking any help, especially in regards to religion. But we did our best to work as much as we could. I did this workout video. It was the first time I was ever doing a workout video, any video of this kind. I'd always done only music videos, and so this was a special project, and it was super awesome. Thanks for Michael Cummings for letting us use his gym. I also got really big while I was in that area because we go to his gym every single day, every morning, just grinding, lifting weights, and I put on so much weight. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to recover from that, but thank you so much, that was super awesome, and that video turned out really cool. I had a lot of fun with that. And then I get my other companion, Elder Ogden, in the area, and we're just working. I'm still grinding videos and things like that, and so we had a pretty good time up there, but the work in general, as far as teaching people, wasn't going so fast. And so then, after that, I find out that I'm going to be transferred to La Jolla YSA ward. And if you don't know what a YSA ward is, or what that term is, it's just young single adult. And so essentially it's just the congregation's just made up of young single adults ages 18 to 30-ish. And so I was going to be going back to the apartment right next to the temple, which is super exciting. And the funny thing was, I remember I was talking to one of the sisters who's in the YSA kind of close in Carlsbad, and I was like, man, if I get put into YSA, I'm going to cry, because YSA wards are interesting because there's a lot of cool people there, but then there's also a lot of other people that, you know, are single, and they're single for a reason. But we're not going to get into that. Everyone's a child of God, they're great. But yeah, but I was put in the La Jolla YSA, and honestly, it was super fun. The first transfer is really slow. Kind of trying to figure out things in the area. I was a district leader, and so I was kind of had these different responsibilities, and the work wasn't going on, and I'm trying to figure out all these different things in the area, who were teaching and whatnot. And so that was a little bit of rough, but come the second transfer, I think that's like I've never worked so hard in a transfer than like that transfer. So my second transfer in the La Jolla YSA ward, I'm with Elder Hayes and Elder Duran. Great guys. Elder Hayes is amazing. Elder Duran is a funny, intelligent guy. And so we're just working there. We were made the social media leads for the mission. This is the first time that they're making this assignment in our mission. And so we're kind of in charge of social media at this point. I'm back in the social media game. And so we're working really hard on that. And I grinded making so many videos. It was insane. Just the amount of videos that I've made in that transfer. I was pumping out like one video a week on top of all the missionary stuff that we're working on. And that was really awesome because it allowed me to push myself doing things that I love while also doing other missionary work too, kind of having that balance. And yeah, that was just a really fun transfer. And so yeah, I was really hoping to stay because although at first I said I didn't want to be in the YSA ward, and then by the end of it I wanted to stay, but is like 4th of July, I remember it clearly. We're at the harbor and we're watching the fireworks, and that's when we get our transfer doc, and then we find out that we're all kind of going, and I'm going to downtown San Diego. And so that's kind of the next part, is when I'm in downtown San Diego, which we, as in the La Jolla YSA, we were covering the downtown area, but we didn't really go down there that much because it's really hard to find people, I guess, down there. But yeah, I was in the San Diego First Ward, downtown San Diego, and I'm still the social media lead for the mission, so they just kind of moved the position to this area, and I was still going to be staying as a social media lead. And we're in a trio, and one of the missionaries, Elder Nelson, was going to be leaving in the middle of the transfer, and so we're just still kind of figuring out all these different things for social media. And it was kind of interesting. This, like, the first couple of weeks had been like really slow. I made like so many phone calls because we'd get in the downtown San Diego area, we get so many referrals from different people, and usually 9 times out of 10 they're homeless. And then usually we get referrals from people that just put in the information that they're from San Diego, and we have to track down and find where they actually live in San Diego County. So lots and lots of calls, which I've never done in the mission, but I prefer that over knocking on doors. And so yeah, it was a bit slow, but it was interesting because we got a referral from it was a member referral, and we're for this lady named Michelle, and she was just solid, and we taught her, and eventually she got baptized, which is super awesome. Then we talked to this guy named Ison, who, his story is that he went to the temple. He just moved to America from Turkey about a couple months ago, and he just saw the temple. He wanted to go inside, and they told him that he needed to meet with missionaries, and so he called the missionaries and wanted to find out where they live and kind of teach him, and we did, and he was baptized. It was super awesome. And yeah, as I was in San Diego, downtown San Diego, training Elder Rogers. So this is my first official, we call it our son, or just a greenie, whatever, but I was going to be training him from the start, which is really good. Elder Rogers is a good kid. And so we worked really hard making calls. I still worked on a bunch of videos and things like that. I made this video for the Mormon Battalion, kind of a little promo video. I think that was probably one video that I'm pretty proud of that I made. And so yeah, it was just really good being in downtown San Diego, although it's just really sketchy area. Being in downtown, so many homeless people and things like that. It kind of really opened my eyes to see like how much like kind of there is, you know, like it's just interesting. It made me grateful for all the things that I had. Didn't take things for granted that I have in my life. I really just appreciated all the things that I had and where I am now. And so yeah, I was there. I finished up training Elder Rogers for 2 transfers, and so at that point I had one more transfer left, and so I thought I was going to be staying, but instead I was actually going to be leaving for my last 5 weeks. This transfer, my last transfer, was going to be short due to like flights and stuff, and they wanted us to be home before Christmas and things like that. And so I was only there for 5 weeks up in Poway. That was gonna be my final stop. And I was follow-up training Elder Tillman. That guy is amazing. He lives like 30 minutes from where I live, up in Keller. So, super awesome guy. And yeah, Poway, pretty much almost the same thing as it was in Carlsbad. There's a lot of nice homes, and which meant the work was a little bit slower, but we kind of, the one way that we try to do work is kind of work with the members and finding friends and things like that. But we had a fun time, and we usually hung out with Elder McKean and Elder Black, and about like 3 weeks-ish or so, 4 weeks maybe into the transfer, Elder Black goes to Brazil, and Elder McKean is put in a trio with us, which was really odd because I thought he was going to be going with somebody else, but he came with us, and so that was really cool. And Elder McKean is such a goober. Oh my goodness. Gosh, I miss that kid. Anyways, that was my last transfer, and to be honest, it was so hard. Not just for like missionary work. I mean, things were pretty easy. As far as just like comprehending the fact that I was going to be going home was the hardest thing. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was like mega trunky. I was trunky out of my mind. And if you don't know what the term trunky is, I was like trunky as in like trunk, like you're living out of your suitcase, kind of. You're thinking about home, but I wasn't like, I was thinking about home all the time, but I was like, didn't want to go home. It's a weird feeling. And like, so we had our departing activities and departing testimonies, and I nearly bawled my eyes out and just saying goodbye to everybody. It was just so weird that I was leaving this life behind that I've been living for nearly 2 years to go home. And so when I did come home, I'm finally home now. As you can see, I don't have a name tag, and it's just been so weird. In the mission, they have this little booklet called Adjusting to Missionary Life, and yeah, they need to make a booklet for returning home. And they kind of do. They have this thing called My Plan, where like you're supposed to write out your goals that you want to do after your mission, so that you're kind of like focused and you know what you kind of want to do. And I did that, but just being home, it kind of, I feel like I kind of lost my purpose. As a missionary, we have this purpose to find and teach and baptize people that want to come unto Jesus Christ. But now that I'm home, that purpose is kind of gone, although like I could still do that. It's not in the same aspect that I was doing before when I was a missionary. And so it was just, these last couple of days have been honestly really rough. I'm not even going to lie, but I've been trying to keep myself busy with all these different things. Just like starting my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, I mean, this video is already on it, but go and subscribe. It's gonna be awesome. I'm trying to put out as much content as I can, doing things like that, and just, I've been watching a lot of TV, and it's bad. But you know what? That's okay, because I have to catch up on 2 years of everything that I've missed out on. But it's, yeah, and being home with family and for the holidays, it's been great, honestly. And you know, it's just this whole change. And I think going into the new year, going into 2020, there's a lot of different changes, a lot of goals that we want to set for ourselves. I know I have a lot of goals that I want to set for myself for the year of 2022, especially now that I'm home. I got things that I want to do, but I think really just seeing those changes as opportunities, because we're always going to have these times where we're going to see change in our life. I think there's this quote where change is there's nothing more consistent than change. Change is the most consistent thing about life. And it's so true. And I think honestly, we kind of focus on these different changes and things like that. And we try to like nitpick and try to figure out all these different things. But I think if we really try to like use these changes to, you know, create this positive experience rather than a negative one, I think, you know, really seeing these opportunities, no matter if they're good changes or bad changes, overall just using these changes as opportunities to improve ourselves. And I think that's kind of the whole deal with, you know, New Year's resolutions and things like that, is, you know, we want to create change, we want to see a better us. I think I put on so much weight on my mission. I put on like 30 pounds, you guys. And this year, my goal for 2022 is to lose that weight, or at least lose all the fat. I want to keep all the muscle. And there's more and more goals, you know, school and yada 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 and things like that. So my challenge for you guys, New Year's resolution, is no matter what challenges or obstacles or things that you face in the year of 2022, see these as opportunities to help yourself, build yourself up, rather than, you know, seeing these things as bad things. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. I'll see you guys in the new year. Peace.